Hi, everybody. Good day. Oh, we've got an overcast day today. Do you have an overcast day? Is it one of those days for you where your weather, your internal weather, seems to be kind of wacky? All right. So, without here's what I want to say today. I've had a lot of questions asked of me recently, and I've had a lot of comments of different people with different perspectives. But let me come right out and say this: I am blind. Did you know that, guys? I am blind, and I hear a lot of people out there talking about blindness, and I most certainly understand how difficult it is to have some sort of a perceived disability or real disability, right? And my message today to you is, are you going to allow your disability to define your life? So, are you going to allow your disability to define your life? In most cases, there are certain things that happen to us that we have no control of. Blindness is one of those. My grandfather was a very incredible man. He showed me an example of what a person with a disability like blindness, we like to call it people like to call it disability. I like to call it a challenge. I don't want to change the definition of what people think. I just want to change the perception of what I believe, which is blindness is not a disability. Blindness is a challenge, perhaps maybe even an inconvenience. But my grandfather, let's talk about my grandfather, because his condition was retinitis pigmentosa, which is what I have. Retinitis pigmentosa. I always ask people, so what's your problem, right? What's your deal today? What has life dealt to you? All right? Do you want to exchange that problem? I have a good friend of mine who says he's blind as well. And he says, I exchanged my problem for yours. I had a grandfather whom I was very fortunate to be a guide for when I was a kid. Yes, I was my grandfather's guide. He was blind, and I remember in my town, I used to be the one to guide him in the buses, to go buy stuff out in the stores, traveling on many different buses in my old town, way back when I was 7. That was many moons ago. He was a man of great conviction. He showed me and told me with his action. Remember, words can have an impact, but action have a far more action is far more conceivable, right? Is far more important than words. So my grandfather was the action type of guy. He used to have his own business when businesses were not allowed in our country of origin. And he was blind. I was his guide. And forward, I don't know how many years, 30, 25 years, I found myself in the same situation with blindness becoming an evident part of my life. And it wasn't easy. I didn't make a decision right away. So I always tell people, don't feel sorry for me. All right? Don't feel sorry for me. And do not feel like I need to be, don't feel like I need to be felt sorry for. My grandfather always told me that. Don't feel sorry. Just know that blindness is an inconvenience. It is probably something that hey, you know what? I had to learn to go through and get by. But I think I had the strength of my grandfather way in the back of my mind saying, you know what? Regardless of what you are, who you are, you can still do something. I look at Stephen Hawking. I'm sorry, but I have to bring him up as an example. Stephen Hawking, look at him. All right. And the many people, look at Tony Melendez, all right, where he used to drive and play guitar with his feet, his legs. He had no arms. So, you know, what's your problem today? What's your situation? Many people have put up comments that, yeah, without understanding, you know, I got a comment the other day from somebody, hey, if you're blind, how is it that you're posting this stuff on Facebook and on Instagram? Let me tell you, my friends, blindness doesn't have to be something that'll stop you and freeze you. You know, there are a lot of parents out there that are manifesting their perception about blindness on their kids. And it's okay to feel that way for a little bit. But my role model, my grandfather and my dad and my mom, what they did is they took my blindness and they gave me no excuses for living life to the fullest. So I got to get forward. I know not everybody has had that opportunity, but give your children, your kids, your loved ones, people you meet out on the road, when you see someone with a cane or with a guide dog on the street, don't look at them as aliens. Look at them as somebody who's out there fighting to move forward. And one of the biggest issues with blindness in our community today is other people's perception of blindness. And in fact, I proved it the other day purposely. I did a project with a hose as a blind person, and as a blind individual. You know, many people would have never thought about doing something like that. But I did not disclose at that time that I was blind because I wanted to hear the feedback. And then I got a couple of messages, and one of them was, "You're too slow." And I'm not going to reiterate that one because I talked about that the other day. But people's perceptions, depending on who you are and where you are at the moment nowadays, okay, is what it is. And we need to recognize that. And when we recognize that people's perceptions, right? There's a book called The Four Agreements. If you get upset, if you get angry, if you get mad at people for their perceptions, you're agreeing with them and essentially saying, you know what, I'm going to be in your court. I'm going to be in your mud with you because I agree with you. You know what? People's perceptions are theirs. You know, you have a perception, I have mine. And out there, you have people arguing about many things. But one thing is for sure, that blindness will never stop me, ever stop me from doing what it is I got to do. And from saying to you who are watching me today, that whatever it is you're going through today, whether it's blindness, whatever it is, whatever challenge you're having today, that you can still be productive and that you can still do things, and that you should never allow anyone under any circumstances to undermine your goals, and never allow under any circumstances to tell yourself any excuses for any reason whatsoever. That's my message for today. So if you want to follow me on this journey, blindness is never going to stop me. Blindness is just simply an inconvenience. Blindness has taught me, you know what? There are things in the world that I really don't want to see. Blindness has taught me to see people in a different way. Close your eyes today. Go to your backyard, to where your hose is located. Close your eyes. Put on blinders. Walk around your house. If you can conceive it, and you can perceive it, you can do it. You are capable. You know, everybody has the capacity of achievement if you'll just decide to put on those blinders. There are sometimes you have to look, and sometimes you don't. The time when you have to look is when you're saying, I'm going to move forward. And the time you don't have to look is when somebody's saying, hey, you know what? You're not capable. Put on those blinders. You're not capable. You know how many people have told me that I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to do this. And I have the conviction and the desire to move forward regardless of what anybody says. Again, blindness will never stop me, and nothing in this life should stop you from being someone of achievement. Confidence plus independence is equal to a productive lifestyle. Remember, independence, sometimes becomes kind of like a weird thing for people. I thought about it for many years, and I built this formula some years ago, thinking about how to be productive and have a productive lifestyle. It starts with independence and confidence. Have the confidence in your life that you're going to make it. Because the only way that any of us is going to be able to do anything in life is by fighting through a lot of obstacles. So have a nice day, everybody, and I'll see you on the other side. Anyway, if you do have comments, anything, okay, I'm open to it. Whatever it is you want to say to me. Whatever it is you want to say to me. You're wrong, you're right, you're indifferent, you're this, you're that. I want to hear it. Because one of the worst things that a human being can have is the inability to learn.